I'll do it that way. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. I would love to hear what's going on in your world. What are we celebrating this week? I know we've had lots of activity with people that are playing the action game, and I know we've had lots of events here in the Denver, Boulder area, and kind of all around the country. It just seems like that time of year. So tell us what's going on. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
All right.
So I placed 2 tower gardens at my elementary school. We just got them set up this week, and I just got a letter in the mail today saying I was awarded another grant for $3,000. So yeah.
That's amazing. Great job.
That'll be 14 for me in my school district.
That is so awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Can I ask where your grants are coming from, or is it Sam's Club or Tractor Supply Company or?
No. I'm in Minnesota. So the majority of them have come from their SHIP grants, which is a state program. It's called Statewide Health Improvement Program. So it comes from the state, but it's dispersed through the counties.
Nice.
The one that I just got today, because I'm a teacher and I'm a member of the Minnesota Education Union, it came through that. So,
That's really great.
If we go to principals and when we talk to them, will they know about grants that are available to them?
No, probably not necessarily. We do have, our district is big. We have 15 elementary schools, and we have an actual grant writer as part of the district employees. So they can kind of steer you in the right direction.
That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing. Great job.
Mel, can you hear me?
Yes.
Mel, can you hear me? Okay, good. I don't really understand grants. Can that be a little explanation, just exactly what it means?
Well, there's lots of businesses out there, lots of places that have money that they want to give away. And so there's an application, and everybody has different questions that they're looking for. But mainly, they want to know what the need is for your, situation, your organization, what your demographics are. So like, we're looking at diversity and, how many free and reduced lunch kids you have at your school, that kind of thing. They want to know, what your outline activities are going to be and who's going to be involved and, how's the money being spent. And then there's usually reports that you have to submit, like, pictures, and they ask you questions about, what your progress is and, have you met your outcomes. And it's a real timely thing. You have to be very, very patient when you're working with grants. The first one that I got, I think, we applied for it in July. We found out in September we were awarded the grant. We didn't see any money till December. So it's really, you really have to be patient.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that information. I feel like we need you to do like a tower garden, how you're doing it, how you're getting it in, like an information, Zoom or something. I think that would be fantastic because I know
that first grant that I did was it kind of took on a life of its own, and I ended up being on the Minneapolis St. Paul News.
Yeah.
And in the paper, and then I also did a presentation to the Minnesota Health Commissioner.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well,
go ahead, Patty.
I'm just going to say, so in essence, they're paying for the towers, really.
Yes.
This grant. That. Okay. I just never really understood how that works, so thank you.
Yep.
And then I lost my train of thought. You interrupted me, Patty, and now I can't remember.
I'm sorry.
Poor Missy.
Right.
Oh, no, I know.
Oh, go ahead.
Are you dealing mostly with elementary? Or
Yes, they're all elementary schools.
Okay.
Although the district, we do have 2 at one of the high schools here, but it's working with the special education group of kids.
Okay.
So, but no, we've got them in individual classrooms, and so with the extensions, each child gets to plant their own plant, and you can do 3 to 4 plantings in a school year. If you're doing the leafy greens, which is basically what you can do indoors. So
great.
yeah.
That's great. Congratulations. What else are we celebrating?
I had a celebration today just because it turned out really well. I have a person that I've reacquainted with. She has 2 young kids. She had cancer when I had cancer. She's moved out of anyway, we reconnected on Facebook, and she was interested in me what I was telling her about Juice Plus, and she was doing alternative treatments as she could, and she goes to a naturopath and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yesterday she sent me this long message about how she'd talked with a naturopath who had written a blog post about Juice Plus in particular and the research, and then he dissed MLMs, that they're all scams, and carried on. And so, I thought, oh man, this is terrible. And so she was really depressed because she said, I don't know what to do. So today, some of those words that Reagan and other people have said, I thought, you know what? I can't convince her. So I shot her a note and said, basically, here's the deal. I too am disheartened by, the medical world, because sometimes they fight each other between one group and another, and so you don't get where you want to go. I said, but here's the thing. I'm not here to convince you about Juice Plus. I can't do that. But what I can tell you is, or what I'm going to ask you is, if you can either take it because you need more fruits and vegetables in your diet. So if you want more fruits and vegetables and you think it'd benefit you, take it. If you don't want more fruits and vegetables in your diet, don't take it. It's that simple. And she wrote back right away and said, it is that simple, isn't it? So she
Good job, Missy.
Great job. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So that was great, because I'm happy for her that she's going to get the benefit of this.
She's going to get all that good nutrition in, and we don't need to complicate it. And so many people get so wrapped up in what it is and how it's sold and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And I almost was going to start, I was going to start responding to all her issues. And it's like, no, it's this simple. You either want it because of the fruits and vegetables or you don't.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
So
Heather, I don't mean to put you on the spot. Haha. Can you share your huge successes for this week? Can you unmute yourself? There you go.
There we go.
Do you mind sharing real quick? Because I think people could really benefit from hearing about all the activity that you've been in.
No, I will share. I had a lot of activity. I've gotten a few orders, not tons, but I definitely think the activity was there, and it was fun connecting with a lot of people that I haven't connected with in a long time. So I did the weekly special that they put out. So I did a text blitz to 50 people in the actual contacts in my cell phone is who I sent it to. I thought, you know what, I'm going to leave Facebook out this time and just try the people on my phone. And I followed pretty much the verbiage that they gave. Mel and I worked on it a little bit. So I sent out 50 invites to watch the 3-minute video. I got 34 answers back, maybe a few more actually, since the week has went on, to watch that they would watch the 3-minute video. And then I've had about 7 or 8 people that have wanted details, and I have 2 people that have started and a couple more people that are like, I want to wait and see if you like it. which I know I'm going to like it, but I would just, this is my first shred. So, you know, I've been honest with them that this is my, you know, first time doing it. I don't have experience with it before. So, but I've had really good response that way, and it's been fun to connect with people.
Well, that's great. And that gives you a reason to stay connected with them as you're shredding, so you can share your experience with them and invite them to join you when you're done. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Great job.
You had 8 to 10, so Heather had 8 to 10 people then that actually are going to do the shred out of the 50?
No, I had 8 to 10 people who are interested. I have
Cool. Great.
I have 3 people that are doing the shred with me, but one of them already is one of my customers from before that just hasn't been taking the products regularly.
Yeah, awesome. That's great.
Thank you.
And how did that go? Were you at first were you like a little bit like I'm a little bit scared about how this goes, or how did that go for you?
Yeah, I called Mel. I called Mel after I sent out my first 50 texts, and I was like, you need to help me right now because I'm flipping out. I just sent 50 people that I love very much a message, and I'm afraid they're going to like be mad at me or something. I don't know how to handle this. And she was like, oh, everybody feels that way at first, but just think, you know, you're offering them help, and it's just a small, are you here right now? And if you're not, no big deal. And so I just kept that in my mind going forward and talking to everybody that, you know, it wasn't a big deal, that I really would give this product. If I could afford to buy everyone I love full trios and shakes, I would buy everybody I could. I would have everybody on this. So I just kind of kept on thinking about that as I was going out there.
Yeah.
So Heather, I had to step away just for a second. Did you use your verbiage that got either that Mel put out when you sent your text?
Yeah. So I used the verbiage from the weekly tracker, like that they sent us from the shred guide mainly. But then as people were kind of responding back, then Mel and I worked on some verbiage, and that's the verbiage that I think that she posted on Voxer. Was what we were kind of working together. I felt like I just wanted it to be a little bit more personal, but I sent out the text first and just said, hey, I hope you're doing well. Would you watch a 3-minute video? So 34 people were like, sure, why not? You know, I didn't tell them what it was about or anything. And then after a couple of minutes, then I just sent out the, hey, this is why I'm doing this. I'm looking for a few people. I'm trying to get healthy, and I want a few people to do it with me. And a lot of people answered back and said, oh, I don't think I want to give up all of that stuff. And a lot of people laughed because they know how much I love coffee, and I drink it like all day. And so they're like, you're going to give up coffee for 10 days? So we'll wait and see people are probably waiting to see if I can really give up coffee for 10 days and how much it's going to change my life.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Well, good. Well, great job. Anybody else want to share real quick? Because the training that I have tonight really is, we're just going to be really quick. I just love hearing what's going on. We've got so much activity, and people are just stepping up and getting outside their comfort zone. So anybody else want to share real quick?
Yeah, I will.
Oh, go ahead.
Kelsey, you want to go?
Mine kind of goes along with Heather's. I was with Mel over the weekend, and I did a text blitz. And I've reached out to people many times through Facebook, and I've never gotten a lot of good responses. So I did the same thing. I'm like, I'm just going to use my phone, go through text messages, and I sent out maybe 30 different messages about watching a 3-minute video. And I've had 12 people respond, and they've all wanted to watch the video and get a little bit more information. A lot of them were like, I can't give up alcohol, or I can't give up cheese, you know? So I'm still kind of talking with people, but it's a lot of people that I never would have reached out to. And I haven't talked to yet about Juice Plus. So at least it's an exposure to them, you know, because I know, like, I can see that they're liking my Facebook post and they're watching, and I keep in touch with them here and there. But I think as they see my progress with everything, even if they say no and they don't want to do the 10-day shred with me, they're going to be, introduced to it somehow. And so they're going to be a little bit more aware. So maybe like the second or the third time, it's not a no, it's just a not right now, maybe, you know, so.
Absolutely.
I would say that today I read through the new system, the Shred guide that they released for us.
Yep.
And if I would have had that at the beginning of the week for some of the answers they returned to me,
Yep.
the verbiage in that book is great about, like, well, I don't want to give up wine and, like, just so it would have been really great to have some of that. But I read through the whole thing today and I love it. So I'm excited to go forward and keep on doing it and learning how to do it better.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys don't know what she's talking about, the healthylivingrevolution.com, you can go on the bottom right-hand corner. There's a little tiny wheel at the bottom right-hand corner that gets you into the back end. You're going to click that, and the password to get in for us representatives for all of the tools and stuff is Revolution. That's the password. And then you can get that shred guide. And you guys, it is so fantastic what they've put together for us. And the people that are doing it, I don't know, there's a bunch of people doing it in our action game. If you're doing that, you're going to hear results like what Heather's talking about, like what Kelsey said. And it just walks you step by step through exactly what you need to do. And I was just shocked at, how well it works. I mean, just to ask somebody to watch a video, is pretty simple. And they're like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it, and just it just opens the door to make it pretty short, sweet, and simple, and help to sort people into like, yes, no, maybe later, so.
I use that for my gal that I got my shred with, that we were down in Florida. So I really want to go forward and try some of this texting that you guys have been doing.
Okay.
So
jump on a text blitz with us this week. That would be awesome.
Okay, can you get with me before we do that?
Sure, I'm happy to do that.
My traveling's over for a while, so.
Awesome.
And I got my Tower Garden order.
Yay, good job. Yeah. Wow, you guys, so much activity. This is just so amazing. Great job. Okay, so.
Hey, Mel, can I share something really quick?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I have a new distributor that's excited, since a little bit more excited. So I'm hoping he does something just after going to regional. And then I had a guy come back that they used to take it 8 years ago, and he just came back to me. So Yay! That was exciting. And then somebody else who went to the regional. She is going to do the Shred 10. Interestingly, though, we were getting ready and we're getting everything ordered, and she looks at me and she goes, wait, so it's a capsule? Isn't that crazy?
And she is at Valerie Miles?
Yeah.
It's funny what people hear or don't hear.
Yeah. But the other thing I wanted to say is I just listened to a call that was posted up right before this one, and it was with Janet Black? I can't remember.
From corporate.
Yes. So just a couple things that she said that I thought might be useful for everybody, and then I'll let you get to your training. But, this year worldwide, the wellness industry, they're saying, is going to be $1 trillion. And in the U.S., it's over $12 billion. And of course, that's anything from supplements to food to equipment. It's a big gamut, but it's a huge deal. But the other thing she said that's huge, and this is just across the board, that people buy, it doesn't matter whether it's direct sales, it doesn't matter where they are, right? People buy based on customer service. So that's why that's such a big deal for us or any industry, right? Because people will spend more if the customer service is good. So, it doesn't matter how much Juice Plus costs if your customer service is good. They're going to see value. And also, for the first time ever, Juice Plus is in the top 20 of direct sales company according to Direct Selling Magazine. So
awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought at one time that something came out that we were like number 12. Was that number 12 MLL company to work with?
I don't know. She just said this is the first time that we've been recognized as a top 20 network marketing company.
That's great.
I think that's pretty exciting.
That is pretty exciting. It's a great time to be doing what we're doing, as what I hear from all of that. And gosh, with the shred and the customer care that goes with what we're putting into that in the first 10 days of somebody's experience, for them to just experience that hand holding and how you doing and how can we help you and what's working, what's not, and to be able to walk them through that first 10 days. Don't you think that gets the customer care piece right on the right track right off the bat?
Yeah. And there's a lot of changes within corporate too that they're doing that if, you know, the call was like 30 minutes. If you guys want to catch the replay, they're just talking about restructuring people. That was, you know, good. So anyway. Yeah.
Okay. And that call, I know that it was put in Voxer. The recall number that you can call into is right on that image that's posted in Voxer. It was Janet Black is her name. So watch that if you're interested in all that amazing stuff that our company is doing for us to be in the top 20. Woo woo.
Cool. Hey, Mel.
Yep.
One other thing to go along with what you mentioned a minute ago, in our on the action game in our weekly special and this week's special, they have the 3 links that you can go to where we can send the video of Mitra and Jake, the video of Mitra alone, and then the booklet, and it loads up right there, so there's nothing else, and we all need to know that that's available, and we probably need to post that. So
yeah, we'll post that, but if you go to intro.shred10.com, that's going to give you the 3-minute video, and that's all they're going to see there. If you go to info.shred10.com, that's going to give you the 23-minute video of the details of what's happening and why we want to shred. Okay. And that's from Mitra, and it's amazing. If you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's great.
And then, it's, I think it's book.shred10.com. And that gives you the guidebook.
The flip book.
The flip book. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. The flip book. The flip book that does the presentation. Sorry. It's not the guide.
It's a flip book, which is basically the same thing you would do on a Zoom call or anything else.
Exactly. You can even have those printed if you're a person that likes to do it in person with somebody and doesn't like the technology. Print those off and flip through it with somebody. That's why it's called a flip book.
If you play in the action game, you get 10 points for that.
Yep.
If you print it out, you get 5 points for printing it out, putting it into booklet form. Yeah.
And do you now, since we have that new shred guide, like the guide for our shredders? So I know we used to have a different shred guide that was
it was more Transform 30.
You know, like it was on the Healthy Bodies
the Facebook
Transform 30 Facebook page or whatever. So has it been changed? Do you know? I actually haven't been on there.
Yep, it's all updated. So
now they just get that. I don't need to send it to them separately. They'll just get it when they get on there.
What I've been doing is just tagging my people that are shredding and saying, here's the guidelines, you know, that they can access, and then they'll know where that post is. It's the pinned post on the homepage, but if they pull it up on they might not see it if they pull it up on their phone.
Okay. Yeah. And are you doing what they say about like, hey, here's the 23-minute. Once you watch it, let me know.
Once you watch it, let me know. And then I can add them to that group.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah. I've just been following it because I'm like, gosh, if it's working for everybody, I mean, the verbiage is working. We're getting people to respond to the texting, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I think Jake Kelly has it dialed. So I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah. For sure.
Why reinvent the wheel, you guys? So let's see
I was just going to say that because Jennifer has a Vimeo out about that, and she basically says that same thing that you just said, Mel, is a lot of people put a lot of hard work and effort into this. Everybody's kind of talking the same language, so there's no reason to, as you just said, reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
So I think, Hey, one thing I wanted to say quickly, because Jennifer, you just said about the person who said it's a capsule. It's kind of interesting to me. One of the people on my action game team said that she had a customer who said something like to her today, gosh, the shakes are so expensive. And she didn't know what to say. So she, you know what she said? Nothing. And the next words, it was kind of like this blank pause, right? And the next words out of her client, you know, her prospect's mouth was, well, I'll order them anyway. So sometimes I think we apologize for things because we, you know, we think we have to
Right.
to answer to her, say something to it.
Yep.
And I thought that was so interesting that she didn't say anything. And that was probably the best thing she could have done. So
Right.
sometimes these objections, we're always thinking, how are we going to fix, how are we going to answer that? How are we going to, you know, convince them?
Right.
But I just think that is true. Somebody said something about convincing was terrific. Or just kind of maybe just sit. Missy said something about convincing. I can't convince you. Sometimes just saying nothing and let them figure it out on their own. So I thought that was terrific.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you. Thank you guys. I love this. I love that we get to share what's working, I love all this verbiage that we're sitting here talking about. I mean, this is way better than any kind of training that I could do. So, this is great. So thank you guys. And thanks for sharing what's working. Thanks for sharing the verbiage. I just love it. So what I was going to talk about today, and we've only got a few more minutes, but I really want to help you guys with is we need to talk about tracking and why it's important. And I don't know if you heard, you know, some of the people that were talking today were like, all right, I invited, you know, this many people to watch a video. These are all things about tracking and numbers and things like that. So I know we all have goals for our 90-day, right? We've all set them. We all have filled out that form with Reagan. We've revised our goals maybe. And we've come up with a plan that we want to achieve in the next 90 days. So if we're not tracking where we're at, so it's been almost 30 days now, right? I've kind of started mine at the beginning of January. January 1st is kind of what I'm started mine on. You may have started a little bit later, and that's okay. But we're going into like the first third of where we want to get for our goals and how are we doing on that. And so it's really important so that we can stay on track, stay on course, because sometimes we can get scattered. Sometimes we can get distracted. Sometimes there's a lot of noise, you know. So we need to just stay focused and track, you know, what we're doing. And so that we do that so that if we're not getting the results that we want for the goals that we've made, that we can reevaluate and we can maybe tweak some things. And sometimes, I know Reagan says this all the time, sometimes it's just a tiny, tiny verbiage tweak and you'll have a completely different result. So I don't know what you guys are using to track. You know, one time we used, you know, like, gosh, let's see if we can have 100 squares, you know, let's track 100 squares and see what we can get to, you know, for the month or, you know, for a certain amount of time, right? See if we can get through 100 conversations, whatever it is. And I don't care really how people track it. Track what you're doing some way. Like, how many people have you offered the opportunity to, or the opportunity to take a peek at Juice Plus or to get into the conversation? But let's make sure that we're tracking this so that, gosh, if you're sitting there inviting 20 people to do something and you don't get anybody to respond to you, maybe we just need to tweak it a little bit. Okay? Maybe, gosh, I know that my tracking system ends up being a little bit chaotic. And actually, I wish I had my little thing in here, I'd show you. But I had, you know, I invited to Valerie Miles, invited over 100 people to that. It's all on one sheet. And then I was just circling people that said, yes, maybe. But that's a system of tracking. But if you were just kind of, you know, calling a bunch of people and not really keeping track of it, you really don't have a system to follow up. You don't really know, you know, I could sit there and count. I was like, all right, I invited this many people. This many people said yes. This many people said no. This many people said maybe. So now I know where I'm at. And maybe if I was getting, you know, no 100% of the time after looking at that number, I could then go back and be like, all right, go to my upline and be like, okay, I'm not getting the result that I want. I want people to get to this event. How can I get better so that I can have a different result? Okay. So if we're not tracking it, we don't know where we're at. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And then also tracking high payoff activities. And I love the action game because it forces us to do this. So if you're not playing the action game, but you need a tracker, I would suggest to go on to thepeak.bz. That is Sean and Jennifer's website. And at the top right, there's a button for tools. And you can go on there and go on action game. On the bottom, it says forms. And you'll be able to download the form that we're all using to keep track of the activity that we're doing. So, and, you know, I guess I should have talked about this number one. But if there's no action, there's actually nothing to track. So if you're sitting here just like, I don't know why my business isn't moving forward, and you don't have anything on your tracker, then, you know, maybe we should say, all right, well, what are the things that are holding you back? And oftentimes, you know, I used to look at action as like, I would be like fearful. And the reason that I wasn't acting was because I was fearful of what people would say. What would happen if I invited them? Would I lose the relationship? You know, kind of like Heather was saying, like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. All these people that I love and care about are going to think I'm doing something else. Well, sometimes action, and I have this little quote, and I posted it on Facebook one time. It says, action is a great restorer and builder of confidence. Inaction is not only the result, but the cause of fear. And I always thought the opposite. I thought my fear was causing my inactivity. But perhaps it says, perhaps the action you take will be successful. Perhaps different action or adjustment will have to follow. But any action is better than no action at all. I just love that. I love that because so oftentimes I convinced myself that my fear was causing my inactivity, but all I really needed, like Heather said, she was like, I got into action and then I panicked. I was like, oh, you know, and what we did was, it was really great of her to reach out to somebody to say, I'm panicking. What should I do? Well, I got to reassure her that, gosh, when you reach out to people about Juice Plus, worst case that happens is that they get healthier by you sharing your heart and something that you love, you know? Okay. So we don't ever have to apologize for helping somebody get fruits and vegetables into their body. There's nothing about that is going to cause them any harm. And guess what? We're not there to convince them. We're just there to help consult and educate them in making a good decision. It may or may not be for them, and that's totally okay. But give them the opportunity to have something that could absolutely change their life, like it has for so many of us here on this call. So I always try to keep that in mind before I'm like, all right, the worst thing that's going to happen is that they're going to get healthier if they say yes, you know? So I hope that's helpful to you guys.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a particular tracker you use other than the Jennifer one? The Jennifer one doesn't, I mean, it's a great tracker for numbers, but it doesn't give you specifics.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use anything that's specific?
I love using the Google Doc. I also have the High Achievers Playbook.
Okay.
Which, if you guys haven't seen that, it's an amazing, actually, let me go grab mine real quick because it is really cool. Hold on just a second.
Hey, then I'm going to ask Heather. Are you still there, Heather?
Yep.
I was a teacher for years, and the last couple of years I've thought, you know why I'm struggling with all my system of putting things together is I need my old plan book, because that's how I think anymore, because I did that for 28 years. So do they still use plan books in the schools?
Some people do.
Okay. I should run to my school.
Yeah, you can buy them for sure. They pass them out every fall.
Yeah. And just
all right, guys.
one.
So this is, if you haven't seen this is what it is. There's a lot of people that are using this right now. It's really a glorified notebook with a lot of motivation in it, but it gives you kind of a 90-day place for 90 days to keep everything in order. And you know, I use it in all different kinds of ways, but you'll see, like I said, this was my place where I put everything for, you know, inviting to Valerie Miles. but it's all here. And then I was able just to go and circle the people that were coming. And then I basically make a new page for every single day and track the activity that I'm doing. So then I can be like, all right, now who do I need to follow up from yesterday? You know, and that's not normal. Like that's crazy business. But I had, you know, had to invite, you know, a lot of people in order to get 25 people to the event. Right. So that's just kind of where I kept it. And then I had a follow-up day. So then I could just kind of move those people through my next day. So it's really kind of keeping me organized. I tend to be a person that has Post-it notes all over my desk and orders and all that kind of stuff. And it really has helped me to kind of keep everything in place and to keep tracking it. Like I was able to then, you know, count my number of people, and I did it up here in this right hand corner. I'm like, all right. So I got halfway through my invites and I'm like, all right, I had to invite 40 people and I got 90%. I realized, I was like, I wonder how many people are actually responding to me. So I had like, in that first 40, I had 90% of the people text me back that they were yes, no, or maybe. So it was very valuable to see and to be able to track that. I'm like, all right, I don't need to reevaluate. I don't need to like make any tweaks. I just need to keep inviting more people. I kind of stopped halfway through.
That is cool. Now,
and then was able
did you ever have people? Did you have people who didn't respond at all to you?
Yeah, very few. And I was doing this via text.
What did you do with them? Wow.
Yeah, very, very few. I think out of all, I think I was about 90. Once I got through all 100 or whatever, I was about 90% of people that responded back to me. And all I wanted to know was yes or no or maybe or whatever. And then I was able to move on. There's a couple people that didn't respond at all, and that was okay. But I was shocked at how many more responded than didn't. And
awesome.
I used to like send out, I have an email list of people that, you know, get my recipes and healthy meals and things like that, newsletter kind of stuff. And I have invited that way before and had maybe 10% respond to me. So to track it and to know what you're doing, you know, it really was enlightening to me to be like, oh my gosh, I'm having a completely different result by just sharing a really quick text with people.
Mel.
So, yep.
Awesome.
I found something on the Peak team where I didn't end up printing off like the Excel spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I hold this up, but there's this high personal tracker for high payoff activities that was next to it, and I printed it off, and like each number goes with the number on the Excel spreadsheet. So like I wrote in what I did, and I wrote all the people I contacted on the back.
Awesome.
And so then when I tried to track my points on Sunday, all I had to do was come to this to count it's like 2
Awesome.
pages. It even has like the days of the week that you listened to Voxer and the days of the week that you did your growth thing or whatever.
Yeah.
It goes right along with the 90-day thing. So it was really easy to keep track. And then I feel like I like your book a lot. Actually, I'd probably order one of those, but I still have like all my people written down that I contacted. I'm just going to 3-hole punch it and put it in a binder.
Yep. That's fantastic. So you guys, it doesn't matter what you do. Just track it and whatever system works for you. Like I used to love using my Google Doc because I could have it on my phone and then I could just go to it and I keep adding people to my list and kind of moving them over, and that works too. So just do whatever works. I do love, especially for the action game, I love what you're doing because I find it really difficult to go back and be like, what did I do this week? I know it was a lot, but it was hard to track it. So That's great, Heather.
Hey, I got one here that's just fun. You can find it online too, but I buy it as a, can you see it? It's a 7-minute daily plan.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
And so it has a variety. If you get online, if you go to 7-minute daily planner or 7-minute life anyway,
okay,
look up 7-minute and you can find it. And I've liked it because it's a 90-day thing, but it's not by date, so you can start your own date. So mine lasted because I didn't count the weekends usually, so it lasted a long time. But
That's
anyway,
awesome.
it's got just places kind of like you were saying with yours, that it's just easy to keep track of things, and it's some place to put stuff. And I'm notorious for notes all over. I still have them, and all of a sudden it's like, what are these things?
Totally. All right. So let's make sure we track it so that we can figure out how much, where we're focusing our energy and what we're doing in our business can match up with what we're hoping to achieve at the end of the 90 days. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. How is everybody feeling towards their 90 days? I mean, we're a third of the way there. I feel like sometimes it takes a little bit to kind of ramp it up. You got to get a little bit of momentum going, and then it just kind of goes off, and then it starts. It's always the hardest in the beginning. So if you're feeling like I'm not getting the results yet, maybe we need to tweak some things, but really be patient. And I know that Eric Worre says that in GoPro, it's not going to happen overnight. But stick with it, and once you get that momentum going, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is really exciting. Good stuff.
Yeah, Mel, I feel that, I haven't been able to be on the action calls just because of different things that were coming up on our schedule and all the travel. I crazily for January probably had my best month. So I'm into some momentum, but I feel I need to drill down a little bit more on the specifics on, is it possible for me to just do the next 60 days in your action game? I don't need to be on anybody's team, but just know what you're doing and go on it. So maybe if you and I could get together next day or so and go over some notes that I have, you can get me laser focused and I can be caught up.
Yes, absolutely. And for anybody else, gosh, you don't have to be part of the game to play a game. You know what I mean? Join us, be part of our blitzes. If you guys haven't experienced the blitzes lately, jump on one of those calls. Go on to, like I said, thepeak.bz and join us on any of those blitz calls. There's a calendar of blitz calls, and they're happening every single day, almost 3 times a day. So it's just so much more fun to not have to do this by yourself or feel like you're out there on an island. I know there's people all over the country that are here to support you, and it just feels good to, even if we're not even talking, we're just looking at each other on Zoom, but it's nice to know that somebody else is texting there with you and experiencing the same thing. So join us on those and take the momentum from them, because it really is spurring people's business forward like crazy. So
where's that calendar at?
So if you go on to thepeak.bz, go under to tools on the right-hand side, and then it says action game.
Okay.
And then it says blitz, and that'll give you the blitz calendar.
All right.
Okay. So, and I know that we do our own team blitz call. We have one scheduled every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Mountain. You're welcome to join us on that. But if there's not one of those that works for you, jump on any of these others. They're really fantastic. They really are great.
And we have one on Friday too, Mel, at 10:30.
Awesome. Missy's hosting that. So thank you, Missy, for stepping up and doing that. And
sure.
Yeah.
When are you going to see Friday when?
10:30 our time, Mountain Time. So that's
12:30 you, Vicki.
39.
Yeah.
Hey,
awesome.
Mel, it's Tracy. I have a question.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi. I want to ask about this Facebook Live event that I saw a couple different ones, and I don't know, it's tomorrow night. There's one that's listed with Jennifer Myers and Heather Allen, and then there's another one. I'm not sure which. Are they ones that you invite people to? Is it just for us? Can you talk? Do you know a little bit about that?
I know that they were hosting Shred live Facebook Shred 10 events that they do. You'll go into the event, and then once she starts posting live, you click on the video, and basically it's like Jennifer Myers is doing a Shred 10 kind of talk about what it is, what they do, all that kind of stuff right there live.
Okay.
So
I think it's the first and third, isn't it, of each month, and the first, or is it every week?
Well, there is one for sure tomorrow, the 31st. So
In the tools
Yeah.
video that I watched today, I think they said every Tuesday for a while.
Missy,
okay.
were you talking about the one from Mitra Ray? Mitra?
No, it's the first and third with Jennifer, who's doing it? Julie.
Yes, it's Mitra. It's on Thursdays. It's the first Thursday and the third Thursday of every evening. It's 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
7 p.m.
And one is about business and one is about the product.
I think
you can invite to either of them.
I think you're talking about two different things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's one tomorrow. It's the live event tomorrow.
It's the Facebook Live.
It's something that you can invite people to. But you have to say that you're going,
And then
you
invite
are
them.
able to invite people.
That's and
Okay, I just sent it to you
sent
guys.
to me. Yeah, you just sent it to the group. So
I just was on. Yeah, that's what I got. Anyway, I was just trying to clarify. And how do you access it?
there's nothing on here. Let me find that out.
Okay.
I will jump on and find it, and then I'll post it here because there's absolutely no information on this flyer.
I think Reagan
So-
had to invite all of us last time. Like Reagan had to send an invite to everybody.
That's correct.
So let me figure it out, and I will post it in the Voxer chat. Does that sound good?
What Voxer chat are you guys in?
Team Healthy Bodies.
Okay, I don't think I'm in that one. I'm in an action team and then our action team.
Okay, I will make sure that
Is
we
that
add you.
one where the Janet Black call was at as well?
That was in the Team Healthy Bodies, the Janet Black call.
Yep.
That was in the Team
Heather,
Healthy-
I just added you. I think you were not on. I don't know. I think you have two. I think you have two Voxer IDs.
I think so too. I'm very.
It's the one with the black and white picture that I just added. Is that your correct one?
Yeah, the
Okay.
H. Weimer 002.
Yeah. Okay, I just added that one.
Thank you.
So now when we post something in here, you should see it says Team Healthy Bodies USA, and that's our team group chat. All right, you guys, awesome job. I'm so excited for everybody and their journey towards our 90 days of amazing. Next couple of weeks, just so that you know, these blitzes have just been so awesome, these little work sessions. So we're going to do that for the next 2 weeks until Reagan gets back. We're going to do a work session together as a group here. So join us for that because it's going to be amazing. And you're going to just, won't it be fun for
Is that
all
the
of us to
Wednesday,
have?
2 p.m.?
No, we're talking about this call.
Oh, okay.
Yep. This call is going to be a blitz call.
Oh, it
It's gonna
is?
be a work session. We're not going to do a training while Reagan's gone because wouldn't it be amazing for us all to be like at the next level by the time she gets back, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Surprise for her? No, but that would be fun. So a welcome home gift to say our business have moved forward while she's away because of all of the amazing training that she gave us to really spur us into action so that we can make all of our goals and dreams come true for this 90 days. So very fun.
Great idea.
And thanks, Mel.
Great,
I want to
thanks,
say
Mel.
thank you for being a great leader, and I have used your verbiage in my text blitz, and it's been amazing. I have good stories, so thank you.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. You are so welcome. You're sweet.
Thank you. You did a
And
great
Heather,
job.
are you still there? Heather?
Still here.
I'll be
Yep, I'm
trying to make those calls up in Northern Virginia tomorrow for that connection. I thought I was home yesterday, but I only got home today, so I'm a day behind.
Okay, no problem. I'm looking forward to it.